Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Melinda Emerson. Melinda is a small business influencer, best-selling author, and podcast host. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Melinda Emerson. Melinda, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Well, as you know, my name is Melinda Emerson, but my nickname is the Small Biz Lady. I'm based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I have a brand as the Small Biz Lady that reaches almost 3 million entrepreneurs each week online. And I'm best known for my best-selling book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, which has been out, over 12 years in print. So really excited about that.
Mm. Can I ask a follow-up question to your 3 million distribution every month? What is it, the email database or social media following or what?
It's all of the above. So between my email database, my social media followers and subscribers, the people that subscribe to my blog, and the people that follow my newsletter and my LinkedIn newsletter. So I have a pretty vast social media footprint as well.
Hey, so what are the top three mistakes to avoid?
Well, I think the number one mistake to avoid is trying to sell to anyone. You really do have to have a very specific niche target customer because nowadays so many people are online trying to sell things. You want to focus on a specific customer so that you can specialize in solving that customer's problem. People want to hire people who specialize in solving their problem, and that's who you want to be. I think the second biggest mistake to look out for is really know your numbers. Know how much profit is in every sale. Make sure you're tracking profit, not just your costs. It doesn't make sense to make sales if you're not making money. So you really want to stay on top of your costs. And number three, don't rest on your marketing laurels. Make sure that your website is up to date and that it loads quickly from any device. 25% of people only operate their life with a cell phone. So you want to make sure that your website is mobile optimized and that it looks good from a mobile device. I mean, even your emails, you need to make sure that your emails are optimized for someone to read them from from a smartphone, because that's most likely 68% of people open emails with a smartphone. So you want to make sure that all of that is working. And then check your keywords. Depending on what industry you're in, your keywords could change every 6 to 8 weeks. So your keyword strategy isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. You need to go back and revisit it from time to time to make sure that you know the best keywords people are using to find you and your products and services online.
What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Well, interestingly enough, my biggest failure story is probably one that happened in the middle of the pandemic. My company, we were victims of a COVID-19 scam and were scammed out of $100,000. And it was because we were approached by a client. They were an international client and they sent us a contract and they sent us a bogus cashier's check. And we're used to getting big checks from clients, so it didn't trigger anything. And it was a total scam, and it was a scam across 3 countries. And so that was a very, very valuable lesson to learn. But I talk about it publicly because I want people to be aware that as soon as the pandemic started, the pandemic scams started too. And you need to be aware that people will study you. If they want to scam you, they will study you. They will study how you move. They will study how you do business. And you need to be very, very careful. There's lots of scams going on out here. And, even I was susceptible to one. So if I was susceptible to one, you could be too. And so that's probably, my biggest story, my biggest, most recent failure story that I can share. That that hopefully is helping someone else.
What did you learn from that?
Well, I learned that if something's too good to be true, it probably is. If somebody's paying you way more than your fee, it's probably a scam, So you got to kind of pay attention to stuff when people come out of the sky, people you don't know trying to do business with you. Check it out. Check them out. Don't just get excited by the number they're offering you. Check it out and make sure that they're completely legit.
How did you recover from that?
Well, I recovered from it by doubling down and, just talking to our customers and building my company back up. I mean, nobody can take $100,000 hit. So it was devastating to me, but, praise God, by the end of 2020, we had recovered fully. So I'm grateful that I was able to generate more business to recover from it.
What are your top 3 success secrets that others can model from?
Well, I think that the number one success secret that I can share is you have to be relentlessly consistent. You have to build a brand that people can count on. When you're selling services, the number one thing you're built selling is trust because you're selling something that's intangible. So it's really important that you spend the time to build up your reputation, ask people for recommendations, highlight testimonies on your website, highlight any media opportunities on your website. These are all things that will very much help you as you grow your business. I would say the second thing is focus on relationships. Don't make short-term decisions, make long-term decisions. And, you always want to try to maintain the relationship. Even if it costs you money, even if it wasn't completely your fault, you want to maintain a relationship because people buy from people they like, know, and trust. People recommend people that they like, know, and trust. So you have to focus on building relationships, not sales, relationships. And then when it comes to your customer, you want to build partnerships. You don't want to be a vendor. You want to build a strong partnership with the customer. And that's the way you're going to build a sustainable business. And that's how people will take you with them when they move on from different companies. And I would say the third thing is mentor your people, mentor your staff. Don't just hire people and expect them to do a good job. You need to become interested in them and finding out what their goals are and mentor them so that they can get to their next goal, even if that is no longer working for you. You really do have to invest in your employees. And if you do that, they'll invest in you and they'll be less likely to leave on the day you need them the most.
We are about to move into a lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
Yes.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for the sunshine and the cool breeze today. I'm grateful just, for sunshine. It's been a long, hard pandemic. Feel like I've been under house arrest.
Just a quick reminder, lightning round. Okay. How young are you?
I am 48.
So you are not 48. You are 18 years old with plus 30 years experience.
Yes, that's a better way to say that. I like it.
What you want to do when you grow up?
Oh, gosh. I want to be a business professor at a college when I grow up.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
I always try to look for the lesson rather than focus on the failure. I look for the lesson so that I make sure that I don't repeat it.
How do you start your day?
I always start my day in meditation and prayer, and I always listen to NPR radio so that I can be informed on what's going on in the world.
What is the advice you will give to younger yourself?
The advice I would give to my younger self is that you are already enough. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, and everything always works out. And don't sweat the small stuff because everything is small.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
I think that you need to make sure you're married to someone who will support your dreams, and you want to know what their risk tolerance is. So if they are highly risk averse, come at them like the bank. Do a PowerPoint presentation, show them what you're working on, what it's worth, what the market opportunity is, and how long it's going to take you to accomplish this. If you're working with someone who is just your biggest cheerleader, just tell them the latest thing you're up to and they'll get behind it. But make sure you know your spouse and you know your spouse communication love language so that you can communicate them in a way that they will understand and that they will feel fully bought into what you're doing.
That's a great advice before getting married. If someone is already married, but they're stuck. So, what is your advice? How they can convince their significant other?
Well, I mean, you have to be honest and straightforward. And if they're really a negative person, put them on a need to know basis, which means they don't need to know.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. Let me ask the question altogether again. Let's try to see if we can get the answer. Once I'm talking about you have the revenue generating idea. How do you convince your significant other?
Well, I'm divorced. I don't have a significant other. I don't have anybody I have to convince of anything.
What is the impactful book you have read?
I'm sorry.
What is the impactful book you have read, and what did you learn from it?
The best book, one of the best books I ever read is Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. This is an amazing book because it helped me really set aside money for profit. So no matter what, every check that comes in, I set aside 5 to 10% in a profit account that I don't touch. I don't steal from it to support the business, and I make my business operate with what's left. And ever since I read that book, I have a lot more money at the end of the year that's mine. So I really love that book, and I've known Mike Michalowicz a long time. I went to college with him. Great book.
Why being impactful is important to you?
I believe that, you have to figure out in life what your calling is. In my case, my calling is to be the small biz lady and to help people live their dream lives as entrepreneurs. And I try to be impactful in that mission every single day because my mission is to end small business failure. So that's pretty much it.
Who is your mentor and what's the impact?
I have several mentors. I have mentors for various things in my life. So I have a mentor that helps me be a great mom. I have mentors that help me make important business decisions. And I have mentors that help me be good community oriented leader. And so, I just have different people in my life that encourage me when I need encouragement. So I think every good entrepreneur needs a team of mentors, actually.
What do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered as someone who helped, someone who loved, and someone who listened and always tried to grow.
Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client are corporations that sell things to small business owners. We do strategy for them, brand strategy, social media engagement strategies, content strategy, that kind of work. So I love to work with corporations that target small business owners.
How can we support you?
Well, you can head over to succeedasYourOwnBoss.com, grab one of my books, or look at one of my courses at Small Biz Lady University. Got lots of great courses to help you grow, especially in this online marketing age. And you can check out my website, succeedasYourOwnBoss.com, and subscribe to my weekly newsletter.
Yeah, succeed as your own boss.com. Check it out. Before we are about to wrap up, before we go, I'd like to ask you a quick feedback on today's session with us. And what would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
Oh, this is a good experience. I think that it's nice and quick, which is great.
What would you say as a final word?
Well, I always want entrepreneurs to know that you never lose in business. Either you win or you learn.
Thank you so much, Melinda, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.